Welcome back to the quest for the perfect bracket show live. I'm now joined by CJ and Sharif, our March Madness social leads. If anybody follows March Madness on social, these are the masterminds behind it. Guys, I know you're probably incredibly busy, but could you tell us a little bit about your jobs and what you do?
Incredibly busy is right. That is almost an understatement. Um, yeah, like you said, we are the March Madness social leads. Everything you see on anything March Madness related, whether it's X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, we are the people who press post. So just keep in mind when you're yelling at us in the comments, we are the ones you're yelling at. There isn't just a blank face here. It's us.
Yeah.
So, how much basketball are you watching on average every week?
Yeah, so too much, I would say, almost at this point. For me personally, I keep about 4 games up at once when I'm working a shift. Typically the other screen is going to have our tweet deck open, which is going to have all the other games that could be relevant to us, which we can't have 16 games up at once, for instance, that are going on. So that's typically about 30 games a day, maybe. Yeah, so yeah, we go through it.
You guys aren't getting tired of each other yet?
No, we can't say that considering we live together. So, that's fine.
Occasionally, when we talk about upset
Working
picks in a
together
little bit, we
wasn't
might.
enough.
Exactly. So we have the
Okay.
little March Madness content house going.
All right, I'm gonna make it my plan here to get you guys arguing. I'm just kidding, but
Why?
all right,
My God.
just for fun. Why not? All right, well, what do you guys got going on social?
So
Let's see.
yeah, so we wanted to do a little social report to just update you guys on what is going on the March Madness social accounts. Since the end of the selection show yesterday, we have been talking to a number of celebrities trying to get people to send their brackets in. People love to see that stuff every year. The first person to send their bracket in this year, as you see on the screen right now, is Mac McClung.
Yes, back-to-back NBA dunk contest winner. He's got some interesting things about his bracket. I mean, I think if you don't know who Mac McClung is, you'd be like, why is he picking Texas Tech to win the title? Mac McClung is a Texas Tech basketball alum, so it's kind of understandable. It's going to be a theme that you see throughout these, celeb brackets, former player brackets, that they're going to pick, the squad that they went to school with,
Right.
so it's not really a surprise there. I say the biggest surprise about his bracket is going to be the fact that he has Drake over Iowa State, I believe it is,
Yeah.
which Iowa State are coming into the tournament really hot, so that's actually a really surprising pick.
Yeah. Otherwise, pretty solid bracket all around. I think a lot of the basketball players that we ask who are going to send brackets in, I mean, they're going to do pretty well. So their brackets are pretty good. But if we go to the next slide, we'll see a bracket that's been under a lot of scrutiny. We actually missed this one, I guess. It's all right. We had Andy Katz's bracket. If it's in there, we'll take it. If it's not, no big deal. But Andy Katz filled his bracket out. Andy actually picked UConn to go back to back this year. Did he pick Purdue to go to the Final Four last year too?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe Andy might have had UConn winning it all last year.
So
I mean, Purdue winning it all, rather.
Just a non-visible
Yeah.
update. Yeah, just a non-visible update on
ask
Andy's
Stats. He
bracket.
would know.
Yeah,
he picked
Non-visible
Arizona
update.
Final Four too. Yeah, he lost 2 of his teams in the first round last
That's
year.
true. Stats, I forgot you were right there and just knew everything. I should have just asked you instead.
Yeah, Stats is our little on-hand encyclopedia. If you ever need something, he's right there.
And I knew that too. Stats, you're too quiet down there. Speak up. Everybody here knows I don't like Purdue. Stats also doesn't like Purdue. So if there's one person that's going to say worse things about Purdue than me, it might be you.
I might pick
you
him to win it all. I'm not sure
now,
yet.
CJ.
Oh, I will explain myself. Don't worry. So the slide that we're on now is the for those who don't know, the NCAA, in addition to picking the typical bracket that you see, seeds 1 through 16, they also list the entire field of 68, 1 through 68. We saw a couple things that we actually were taken aback by, I guess, pretty surprised by. So we wanted to specifically talk about this. The team that we specifically wanted to talk about was Iowa State.
A team that came into this, as the Big 12 champions,
Yes.
beat an extremely hot Houston team. No one had that really happening, and they're sitting one of the
The-
bottom number two
the
seed.
bottom two
So
seed. So
that's incredibly shocking.
when we prep graphics that you see do it throughout the tournament on Selection Sunday, one of the things that we do is we prep extra graphics for a lot of stuff on Selection Sunday. So for the 1 seeds, for example, we prepped a lot of graphics for teams that may not get a 1 seed, but we had to have them just in case they got one. One of those teams was Iowa State, because we were sure that this last 1 seed was going to North Carolina or Iowa State. So we were shocked to see that Iowa State was probably not even considered in consideration for that last 1 seed.
Yeah, and I say another big shock and part of the seat list is Auburn being at 15 there. SEC champions coming in at, I believe, 7 on the AP poll today. Like, that is actually very shocking that they are at 15. Well, the four line, like, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
To dive a little bit deeper, we can go to the next slide to dive a little bit deeper into the field. We actually had a conference breakdown too. We can explain that one pretty easily. There are 10 conferences that had multiple teams get into the tournament, led by the Big 12 and SEC. Not really a surprise there. Probably the 2 strongest conferences.
Yes.
The only surprise to us was the Big East only having 3 teams in the tournament this year.
Yes, especially when you look at the Pac-12, which is considered a weak conference this year, getting 4 in. The Big East only getting 3 teams in when people thought that St. John's had a chance, Seton Hall, who have several impressive wins, Providence. Like, these are teams that are heavily on the bubble and just happen to end up on the wrong side of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we wind up here on what you see on your screen. We actually saw this yesterday during the selection show, and we figured we should turn it into a graphic just because of how cool it came across on the show. They talked about the results in the first round for underdog teams, or lower seeded teams, I should say. Obviously, everybody except for the 9 seed versus the 8 seed has a losing record. But it's something, this graphic is something interesting to look at when you are trying to pick your upset picks this year in the first round.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about this graphic is I told you last night, right? It's so satisfying to look at because you just see the numbers go from bottom all the way to the top in order.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But we had some
That is
people
cool.
we had some people point out a little bit angry that we used a picture of FDU here in this graphic, although, like I just told you guys, we kind of had to.
Makes a ton of sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the
I mean, somebody's always going to be unhappy with something you post on social, right?
Sure.
You
We're
guys
too
probably know
experienced
better
with
than
that.
anyone.
Yeah.
And again, I can't reiterate this enough. You're yelling at us. You're not yelling at just a bunch of nobodies here.
So for the people watching, we're putting a face to this account. Here they
It doesn't
are.
matter. They won't do anything. It's not going
Don't
to
be
change
mean
anything.
to Sharif and CJ.
Yeah, don't be mean to us. We can't take it. We're sensitive.
We do not care at all. So
No, we don't.
Yeah.
All
But,
right, what else you guys got on the social scene?
well, I know you wanted to talk about some brackets and picks.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's-
All right. So I saw there was a meme you had pulled up about trying to explain your upset picks, defending them to your friends. I'm about to turn the both of you into angry SpongeBob there. So let's get going with it. You talked about initial thoughts on the bracket, what kind of stood out to you, but who do you think has some upset potential? Let's do some picks. You got any upset picks?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to start with number 11 New Mexico over Clemson. I think the Mountain West has been incredibly strong this year. Mountain West After Dark has been some of my favorite this entire season. I think New Mexico are really hot coming into this tournament, going through a gauntlet of a Mountain West, and Clemson coming off of a very bad loss to Boston College in an ACC tournament that ended up being extremely winnable with NC State winning it. That's my main upset pick for now.
I actually like that one. I think I actually picked that same upset. So I don't have an issue with that one. His next one I do have an issue with though. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna go with James Madison over Wisconsin. I understand Wisconsin were just in the Big Ten final. However, what puts me off of them is that middle of the season run. I believe at one point they lost 8 of 9. It like they had to win the Big Ten tournament to convince me, in my opinion. So they did not convince me.
And the
Let's
good
put it
thing
that way.
is the regular season didn't end in January.
Oh, 100%.
It ended a week ago.
100%. 100%.
And they finished the regular season great.
You were speaking facts. I love the fact that you're disagreeing. So
Look at how quickly he backed down off of that. He's not confident.
no, I want to see your picks.
No,
Now.
no,
Let's go-
you
let's
can,
go
you
to-
can
let's
see
go to
my
your
picks.
Let's
You
go to
can
your
see my
Let's
picks
go to
because
your
they're in the same region.
Yeah, let's go.
I have two double-digit seeds that are going to play each other in the round of 32 with a Sweet 16 on the line. McNeese is going to beat Gonzaga. They are going to beat Gonzaga.
Wow.
I don't care how many people are going to try to tell me, because before he even says it, he wants to say that everybody's picking McNeese and it's going to be a curse. It's not going to happen. It's happening. McNeese is beating Gonzaga.
So how many Sweet
All
16
right.
Gonzaga been to in a row?
You heard it here
matter.
first. CJ, you're claiming it.
Yes, Gonzaga is overseeded. McNeese
I
is
agree
the
with that.
best.
I agree.
McNeese is the best double-digit seed in the tournament. McNeese is going to beat them.
Fair enough.
Okay, he's very confident.
I
Wow.
am. I'm just
Stats,
making
any
sure everybody
thoughts on
knows.
that?
When
I've never been this
McNeese-
confident in an upset pick.
when McNeese wins, come back to this clip and tell me I was right.
That could get
I don't
ugly.
think I've
not
ever
going
seen
early.
somebody be this confident, actually, ever with an upset pick.
I'm very confident.
Stats, do you know off the top of your head how many Sweet 16s that Gonzaga have been to in a row?
Doesn't matter.
Oh gosh, it's the longest. Is it? I don't know what the number is. Is it like 6 or 7 or 8? It's been a while. Yeah.
I understand that they are not that strong this season, but
Yeah.
the history is a big deal in this
Yeah.
tournament.
And
It ends this
also,
year.
I'm just saying, last year everyone was convinced the 12s were going to do really well last year. That was the strongest 12s we'd ever seen in tournament history. The 12s always won upset, and they went 0 for 4. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but the level of confidence I think is a little out there.
Don't worry.
It is.
Uh,
It is.
I have to try, right?
yeah.
My other one,
Okay,
I
well,
mentioned
Go
that
ahead, CJ.
in the same region, I'm gonna have two double-digit seeds going after each other. I have Samford over Kansas. I don't think that one is as crazy. I think Kansas is kind of stumbling into the tournament. If a team was going to catch them off guard, Samford's not a bad team. They could be the one to do it.
Interesting take. Stats. How you doing?
Yeah, so that's an interesting pick you with, especially with injuries with Kansas. I think that's a big question mark is how healthy they'll be. And even then, Stanford's pretty good. So even if they're healthy, it might not matter.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, let's make it even dicier. Give me your initial final 4 thoughts and who you think might win the thing. Sharif, you want to get us
Yes,
started?
Yeah. I'm gonna start with me. I'm gonna have UConn versus Arizona on one side and Kentucky versus Creighton on the other side. I'm gonna go with teams that have experience. A lot of teams, very experienced teams here, plus Kentucky, who have a very talented freshman class, a team that can score at will. So if they sort it out defensively, I think they're a Final Four lock.
I don't hate it. It's all right. But mine's
I
better.
don't hate it. I don't love it.
I don't. Mine's better though, because I have
All right, let's hear it.
UConn playing Alabama in the Final Four, and I have Houston playing Tennessee on the other side. I have Houston defeating UConn in the national championship game.
Yes, and
Wow.
my championship would be UConn Kentucky with UConn winning.
I don't love picking a back-to-back champion. I also know that UConn is far and away the most picked champion. So I can't
Which
do it.
doesn't happen often, as stats told us.
Right.